Today is Saturday, the 29th day of November 2025, and I am bringing you update 38 Ghanaian Dream Challenge, investing 100,000 Ghana cedis into chicken. So far, I have been constructing the chicken house, and thankfully, just yesterday, the entire chicken house is now complete. It is left with the feeders, it is left with the brooding parts of the chicken house, it is also left with the electrical works. And I, in this episode, want to bring you the cost calculation of how much has been spent in the chicken house so far to see whether I exceeded my 35,000 Ghana cedis target or I was able to beat it. So that is the board you see behind me, and that is where I am going to be doing the calculations for you to see if I have exceeded or have beaten the target of 35,000 Ghana cedis. Remember, on this channel, my Ghanaian Dream channel, I set out to invest 100,000 Ghana cedis in any venture at all. But through your suggestions, I started putting this money into chicken, into layers. And I had a consultant who is advising me on the various components of this particular business. So far, he gave me the dimensions, he gave me the quality of work we should do, and the dimensions of this particular housing so that it can contain up to 1,000 layers. I am not too sure if the 1,000, I am not too sure if the 100,000 Ghana cedis will be able to take care of 1,000 birds. However, the consultant says that run a a poultry business that starts with around 1,000 for someone who is not too young and not also too old is better than going to start with very few numbers that may discourage me, especially that I have been able to look for up to 100,000 Ghana cedis. That should the money fall short on the way, I should be able to look for ways and means of getting money to continue with the feeding of the chicken until they start to lay before I will begin to feel comfortable. And the intention for investing 100,000 is to be able to live my Ghanaian dream. That is to be able to make reasonable amount of profits and to be able to get some basics in life. A car, a very nice car, say a brand new car, not a used one or a home used one, a very nice house in any location in Ghana, among others, be able to take care of my children in school, among others. I just believe that in Ghana, there are so many opportunities that we can tap to be able to live comfortably without having to live an illegal life, engage in illegal activities, or travel abroad in order to look for greener pastures. This is the reason why I am doing this, and I'm hoping that I will succeed so that along the way, it may, should it succeed, inspire you to also take your own course in order to live a happy and comfortable life in Ghana. Should I also feel all of us will learn the lessons and we take our decisions as to whether we take this course or another course. So, without much I say, I would like to us to start with the calculation of the various costs involved in construction of the 1,000 capacity chicken house. The various components have been the groundwork, which is the foundation work, the block work, the concreting, the roofing, that is the almighty roofing, and then the covering of it. So I will take I will take us through the various components of the cost we incurred in this so that at the end of the day, we see the total amount of money we spend and the balance that will be left for us to now order the 1,000 chickens and then the feed and what have you, and to see how much exactly that will be needed to do the rest of the business until the chicken begin to lay to give us some money. Okay, so guys, we are welcome back to the continuation of our video. So we are continuing with the cost estimation for the 1,000 capacity chicken house. It is going to be in four components. The first component will be the foundation and block works. The second component will be the roofing. The third component will be the concrete works, and then the last component will be the covering. Then we will sum up the entire thing to know how much we spent and how much balance we still have to spend on the chicken. So, Madam Accountant, so foundation and block works, we have clearing of land, 303 Ghana cedis. It was in our compound, so we didn't spend so much in clearing the land. Then digging foundation, 348, and then block works. So the entire cost, that is the molding of the blocks, aggregates, the sand, the labor, the construction work itself, the cement and everything. The total amount is 6,099.37 Ghana cedis. 6,6099.3 Ghana cedis. So 6,099.37 Ghana cedis. Then we have the graveling works. The graveling works also took 3,335 Ghana cedis. So the total amount for the construction of the block works and then the graveling, it is the total amount involved in that foundation and block works is 10,000 10,085.37 10,000 and 10,085.37 Ghana cedis. So that is the total amount in the foundation and block works. Then we come to the second component, which is roofing. The roofing, so that will be the subtotal rather. That's the subtotal. So we come to the roofing works. So the roofing actually spent a lot of money, starting from the metal pools, which spent a total amount of, so let's do the addition and see, 1,750 plus 223 Ghana cedis and 98 cedis. The total amount will be what? So we have the total amount involved in the metal works, 1750 plus 223 plus 98. So total amount involved in metal pools, 2,071 Ghana cedis, 2071. Then we have the thick wood, that's harvesting of the thick wood, plus the wood itself we bought from the market. So do it wood in general. Wood total, the total amount of wood we use is 7,404 Ghana cedis. Then nails, 900 cedis. Zinc. So the zinc is a total of 5,702 Ghana cedis. Then we also have the workmanship plus feeding. That is workmanship in addition to feeding, in addition to the rental of scrap and all the other things. So workmanship. So that one will give you 4,569 Ghana cedis. 4,569 Ghana cedis. So the total amount involved in the roofing works, that one is 20,216 Ghana cedis, 20216. So now we go to the third component, which is the covering. So now we are on the third component, which is the concrete works. So after roofing, we did the concrete works. So in the concrete works, we bought aggregate sand, which is 1,111. That's 1111 aggregate. So that's 1111. Then we also bought cement, 2646. Then we bought water for the concrete works. You know, water is an important component of concreting. So water is 300 cedis. Then workmanship is 960. Then rentals, we rented wheelbarrows among other things. So that one is 335 Ghana cedis. So the total cost of the concrete works is 5,352 Ghana cedis. Then we'll come to the last part, which is the covering of the entire structure. So that one, it also started with harvesting of thick wood. So thick wood is 502 Ghana cedis. Then wire mesh, 1979.6. Wire mesh is also an important component of the covering. So 1979.6. Then we also bought nails, 153. Then we rented some materials, 775 cedis, rental 75. Then we bought zinc again to cover the store area, 1,310 Ghana cedis. And workmanship for the covering, 1,115, 1,515. Then the doors and locks, 1,290. So the total cost of the covering is 6,824. 6,824 Ghana cedis. Then the grand total that comprises the foundation works, the roofing works, the concrete works, and the covering works, 42,477.97 Ghana cedis. So this is the total amount of money we spent in the entire 1,000 capacity chicken house. So 1,000 capacity chicken house. How much did you spend? Did you spend up to this amount of money, or you spent less? If you did spend less, how were you able to bring down the cost? How were you able to bring down the cost? So, guys, looking at the total amount of money we spent in the entire 1,000 capacity chicken house, I would like to take us through very quickly. The first component is the foundation works and block works, which took us a total amount of 10,085 Ghana cedi, 37 pesos. Then we came to the roofing works, which took us a total amount of 20,216 Ghana cedis. Then we went to the concrete works. That one also spent a total amount of 5,352 Ghana cedi. Then we came to the covering of the structure. That also took 6,824 Ghana cedis. Then we came to the final parts, which we added all the components, which is the four components: foundation, roofing, concrete, and then covering. That we got a total amount of 42,477 Ghana cedis, 97 pesos. This is a huge amount of money. So when we subtracted it from the total amount of money we have investing, we have 57,522 Ghana cedi and 3 pesos. So, guys, you have seen the total amount of money we have spent so far in the chicken house. We have completed it. The total amount is 77 Ghana cedis and 97 pesos. So out of the 100,000 Ghana cedis, what we have left now is 57,522,000. Will the remaining balance be able to buy the 1,000 day-old chicks, the feed, medication, staff salary, and what have you? So let's see what happens. Thank you so much. If you haven't so subscribed to this channel, this is my Ghanaian Dream channel, and if you find this content interesting and educative, please subscribe and then take the alarm bell so that whenever I upload my videos, you will see them and follow through. This is the day 39 since I started uploading these videos on my Ghanaian Dream challenge, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.